Communications is really essential to the work of community rail partnerships and station friends groups. It helps us to market our activities, to promote volunteering and events and tell people what we've got going on and encourage them to take part. It also is an integral part of what Community Rail is there to do, which is promoting the railway, building understanding and appreciation of the railway and encouraging people to use rail. And more generally, we could also argue that communications is essential if we are to engage diverse groups across our communities and to represent our communities fully and enable them to have a voice in the railways. We know from our work supporting our members that there are a number of very real challenges that community rail partnerships and groups face in communications. Firstly, to do with resourcing. If you're a small community group or you've only got one or two paid members of staff, it can be challenging to keep your website up to date, to maintain social media every day, to put out regular bulletins and press releases and the like. So we need to understand that that is a very real practical issue. Secondly, we know that from research there are a number of inherent problems in promoting sustainable travel, practical barriers that people face to changing their travel behaviours, the fact that driving is held in very high regard culturally and therefore often people don't like being told to leave the car at home, and also the low priority that people often give to environmental issues. These sorts of things can pose challenges to communicating the sorts of messages that Community Rail wants to put out. And our report suggests some general approaches to communications that help to overcome those challenges. So within this report we've analysed academic research, we've brought that together with expert insights and case studies from the community rail world that help to show how these ideas can be put into practice. Firstly, we suggest that much more could be made of digital communication channels to enable us to reach out to wider audiences, to interact and converse, and also to deliver efficiencies over time. Secondly, we think there's scope to build more interaction generally into our communications work across both digital and traditional channels and to demonstrate that we're listening and we care about what people have to say. And finally, a theme running through the whole report was to do with empowerment, and that really goes to the heart of what Community Rail is all about. But we found that there is scope for making more of communications to create a sense of empowerment and encourage more people to get involved in Community Rail. And part of that is about having a longer term view within our communications, using communications to tell the story of where our community rail partnership or group has come from, what it's achieved so far in partnership with the community, but also looking forward, communicating and creating a positive vision of the future that the community feels part of and that they can contribute towards. And if we do that, we send a signal to the community that we are all about creating positive change together. We're all about working together to make things happen, and that makes people feel empowered and it helps them to get involved.